What is going on, everybody? Jake, Fantasy Headliners. Hopefully everybody's doing well out there. Here we go, breaking down the AFC Championship game this weekend between the New England Patriots and Kansas City Chiefs, Sunday there at 6:40 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, I know our faithful viewer out there, Rudy Gomez, has been waiting for this show all week long, so let's get into it. And you really can't talk about this game. You can't read about this game. Everything on every media outlet's talking about the weather and the potential butt-cold temperatures there in Kansas City. And deservedly so. I mean, literally, at game time, it's going to be like 3 degrees colder than a penguin's taint. It's going to be freezing. Now, think about that. Here we are in January, the NFL playoffs, inclement weather, snowy conditions, cold conditions. What's one of the first names, the first quarterbacks that pop into your mind when you hear those types of conditions? It's Tom Brady. And deservedly so. I mean, he's 13-2 in inclement weather games. So right off the bat, before we start talking about anything else, just with the weather, the Patriots have a slight advantage. But this is definitely something that could limit both offenses, more so the vertical offense of the Kansas City Chiefs. If the weather is how they say it's possible to be, that deep threat ball is going to be limited. The routes won't be as crisp. Speed is decreased. Players are cold. I mean, all kinds of factors go into a game that is affected like this. This will be one of the coldest games in NFL history and could really limit the offenses on both sides. Now, they played each other earlier in the year. They played in Foxborough. The Patriots beat the Chiefs 43-40 on a late field goal. And that game saw a ton of offense. I'm talking like huge offense. 950 total yards of offense to be exact. But I think it's pretty safe to say that this game, this coming up week, may look a little bit different. It'll be one of the first times that Tom Brady's entered a playoff game as an underdog. That just does not happen very often. But let's look at the Patriots and how they performed last week. They played, like a well-oiled machine, a lot better than they had played down the stretch of the NFL season. Against the Chargers, it really started with the run game. Sony Michel, 24 carries, 129 yards, 3 touchdowns on the ground. James White didn't run for hardly anything, but he caught 15 passes and 97 yards through the air. We already know that Kansas City struggles defending the run, at least they did during the season where they were ranked 27th overall. However, last week against the Colts, held them to 87 total rushing yards, so a decent performance from the Kansas City defense. And Kansas City is no slouch, themselves when it comes to running the football. Yes, when Kareem Hunt left, a lot of people were scratching their head like, how is this backfield going to look? Is it going to be Spencer Ware? Is it going to be Damian Williams? Is it going to be Committee? Well, it's really been Damian Williams for the past few weeks, and he's performed, great. A lot better than a lot of people have expected, really bumping up his stock going into next season. But how did they do last week against that underrated Colts defense? They did just fine for themselves, rushing for 180 yards and 4 touchdowns on the ground. Now, depending on the weather conditions, the run games for both of these teams will be heavily relied upon, and it's going to be somebody who can control the ball the most, who can limit turnovers, who can win time of possession in this game to give themselves a better opportunity at winning. Now, when you think of the Chiefs, you think about that high-octane offense, that vertical passing offense, and 9 times out of 10, I will choose the Chiefs passing offense over any other in football. But that one time, that 1 out of 10 times, I don't know if I'm going to choose them this week. Why? The weather being one of them. We've already talked about the limited vertical threat. But where do the Patriots excel? It's with Julian Edelman. It's with James White. It's with those short to intermediate routes where they really, really excel. They have, an above-average run game. Sony Michel looked absolutely great last week. And if they can get those 3 players involved again, it's really going to make it difficult for the Chiefs to control time of possession and put up those big numbers that we've been used to them seeing. Now, the Patriots go into every game trying to take away one of the best players on the opposing team, right? It's kind of, everybody knows that. But can they really take away Tyreek Hill? Probably not. They move him around the formation so much. He's in the slot, on the outside, in motion, taking handoffs. It's going to be really hard for them to solely limit him. I really look for them to key in on Travis Kelce and try to limit his upside. If they can do that, it's really going to depend on the possible X factor of Sammy Watkins. If he can go out there and be productive, Tyreek Hill may be limited with that vertical threat, but if they can get him involved in the short passing game and he can break a big play, it'll be very, very beneficial. but it's just not what the Chiefs are known for. They like to throw the ball deep. That's one of the best things about Patrick Mahomes. He can throw it a country mile. So being that the offenses are going to be limited to that short to intermediate passing game, it kind of also gives the Patriots the slight edge again. Now, another thing that typically really favors the Chiefs is the atmosphere, right? Playing at Arrowhead, one of the loudest stadiums, one of the toughest stadiums to play at in the NFL. Now, if I had to guess, with the temperatures being what they're going to be, I don't expect a whole lot of people being out there in T-shirts screaming for their team. I expect a lot of heavy coats, heavy parkas, scarves, hats, whatever you can possibly shove into your clothing to keep warm. If that's the case, does it kind of limit the upside that crowd usually brings to the Chiefs? Not going to say that they're not going to be rowdy and that they're not going to be into it, but if they get down early, are the fans going to, creep to the point to where it really doesn't benefit the Chiefs any more than it takes away from the Patriots? If that's the case, and they can take the crowd out of the game early, benefit Patriots once again. Now, had this been a normal day, a sunny 45-degree day, clear skies, clear field, I would go with the Chiefs almost 100% of the time. I want the Chiefs to win. I think they would provide a more exciting Super Bowl, if I'm being completely honest. However, with the weather, the change in the weather tips the scales slightly towards the Patriots. I'm going to pick the Patriots over the Chiefs in a very close game. However, I'm really hoping that the Chiefs win. This is a prediction that I will not mind getting wrong if it happens. The Chiefs are a fun and exciting team to watch, and if we can get them indoors, in a dome, in the Super Bowl against either the Saints, possibly the Saints, if that's where my prediction goes, the Saints or the Rams, it's going to be a fun game to watch in the Super Bowl. We've seen some of those teams compete against each other before. A lot of fireworks, a lot of excitement. So yes, I have the Patriots winning a close one, but I won't be disappointed if the Chiefs pull it out. Should be a good game. One of these hard-nosed games. I'm not expecting almost 1,000 yards of offense like the last time they met, but should still be good playoff football, really dependent on the weather. Maybe things will take a slight turn there and won't be quite as bad as they're predicting. Something we need to pay attention to and watch. Still fun to watch NFL playoff football. It's exciting. A lot of you guys are passionate about there. Don't be getting all butthurt out there if I didn't pick your team. Like I said, I'm not a Patriots fan. I'm not really a Chiefs fan, but I'm a fan of good football. That could happen this week. Hopefully the weather holds out and really gives us an opportunity to see both these teams go at it head-to-head, because it was really fun to see them earlier in the season. But that's my take here for the AFC Championship game. Hopefully you guys have a good rest of your week. Looking forward to some football. We'll talk to you later. Thanks. Bye.